Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm pleased to be here to moderate this session. And to begin with, we shall start with Professor Muranga Florence. She's a renowned biochemist and food scientist and innovator. And all of you, most of you, and if not everyone, during this break, you've tasted her products. So the cakes, the bananas, all of them processed, and the porridge. She's passionate about value addition in the banana industry, and a steadfast and dedicated transformer in terms of looking at impact. She leads one of the most ambitious initiatives to industrialize banana into global competitive products. Throughout her eminent career, Professor Muranga has led academic leadership roles at Makerere University and served as a professor of nutrition, biochemistry, and biochemistry in the Department of Food Technology and Nutrition, and advanced research into nutritional and processing products of banana, known as matoke. Her expertise has spanned through nutritional science, food technology, industrial scale innovation of plant-based foods. As a director of PIBID, Professor Muranga continues to champion technology transfer, agro-industrial development, and inclusive value addition for small-scale farmers. And her work exemplifies how science and industry connect. And we would like that as you make your presentation, you deal with the issue of impact and how value addition can be integrated into training, as well as the challenge for partnership to utilize the available resources in the region, in the country, and beyond to be able to produce a student who is all-round, but also relevant not only to themselves, but to society.
I want to, first of all, start by appreciating my sister, the Vice Chancellor, for enabling me to be here. I'm actually one of you. I am a visiting associate professor in the faculty of, I'm associated to pharmacology. Yes, and I'm proud to say that I lead the starch end of using starch as an excipient in pharmacological packaging. So this was cuts of our late professor we shared, Professor Owino. The last thing he did, actually, before he died, is get me that associate professorship because he wanted me so much to be part of that. And as a consequence, we've developed a fully fledged starch as an banana starch as an excipient from pharmacological applications at our center, and we've named it after Professor Owino. So that should be the starting of our connection. The title was Current and Future Trends in Agriculture and Animal Science and the Interdisciplinary Approach to Training, a case of the banana value chain development under PIBID. Universities should stop thinking that somebody is going to have mass on them because they're teaching agriculture and go and get a donor to do what? To fund the whole process. Those times are gone. Universities have to be corporate entities. You have to know how to do a good project, a good strategy. When there is money somewhere, you have to position yourself as if this didn't happen, everything else is going to go what? To a standstill. That's how I first got recognized by the Rockefeller Foundation, which actually I want to recognize. Yes, they propelled me to the frontiers of this work. but could not agree with the national policies at the end. But I did aggressively articulated the issue of why banana has to become an industrial base. And they gave me a lot of platforms, both local and abroad, that really caused government to look up to say what's happening here. So when they dropped me, government was very quick to do what? To pick me up. But yes, that's what formed the presidential initiative and its legal framework, which is the Banana Research and Development Center. PBD was a project. When it was successful, we formed the legal framework under BIRDC, and we are now a fully fledged company, but limited by guarantee. We have been directly aligned with Uganda long-term development plans right from the word inception. Why Dr. Frank Babili is very, very critical is that, and I really want to thank the president for his foresight, is that when we came from the university and became a national project, he pushed him on us to become our chair. And his role was to mainstream this project into the national development goals, and has really worked very well. So we look at the issues, three major issues of our aspirations are encapsulated at farmers level. Basically, empowerment of farmers, enhancing of livelihood, improvement of household income, and food security across the banana farming areas, affecting women and youth employment and productivity in the banana sector. I think we're on the same page. And at national level, we look at direct and indirect employment opportunities, development of SME and trade industry, development of framework of sustainable value addition in the agriculture sector, evidencing banana flour in particular, and the generation of export and import substitution value and attracting FDI. And thirdly, environmental and climate change. These are tags that you cannot do without. I'm so happy that it's mainstream in your curriculum. This under here we foster clean energy and waste to value innovation. That's why I've been invited to present that proposal in Brazil. But also, we are now leading in the focusing the issue in Africa on insurance financing, thus protecting the environment and being climate change smart. But I'm sure you really want to know our journey. Where did we start our journey? We have what we call a problem tree analysis with problems, effects, and underlying problems. We looked at what was the focal problem: lack of quality standards, absence of product recognition, packaging, branding, and consumer awareness. Then we looked at the weaknesses and support to backward and forward linkages within the banana value chain, and there were inconsistent commodity supply due to poor infrastructure. There was a lot of mismatch between the consumer demand and product characteristics. For instance, when we started, you could not really order specific banana. You know, there was no segregation. The farmers would just plant anyhow. We are now trying to streamline that a farmer can have a plantation segregated into Nandigobe, into Chibuzi, into, you know, so that even for the export of fresh bananas, it will become very important. Then lack of institutional arrangement for production, value addition, and marketing support. Here I want to recognize my colleague in absentia, that really the first entry point in terms of being able to add value was Cuts of Narrow. Without Narrow, I don't think I'll be here, because Narrow pushed me to the front line of those donors who are looking for value addition. And eventually, I actually almost took over Narrow because I was a pioneer in the value addition space. Main problem, looking at it, was post-harvest losses. As we started, and I think still, was about 40 per annum. And when you have most of your farmers doing this, and they are losing at this level. You know where poverty is coming from. Poor incomes for the farmers, limiting the promotion of rural enterprise. I've seen this with my eyes. Sometimes I almost cry after the thunderstorms have come and cleared plantations of our farmers. That's why we rushed into the insurance support mechanism, because for the farmer, it can be very devastating. Yes, so, but in order to go anywhere, you need to reinvent. As I said, we are disruptors, so we need to reinvent the theory of change. This is the theory that was causing me problems. And we said that the farmer, we identified 4 issues that had to be done differently if we are going to have a robust value chain in the banana cropping system. And one was access to tested technologies. You would say NARO is doing all this. It was indeed, because as I said, I'm partly a product of NARO support. But I would see in NARO, somebody would be like a tourist when he goes into NARO. He does not see that technology belonging to him or to her. So we realized that there was a need to get farmers and stakeholders in the production ecosystem to aspire and get technologies that are being developed and apply them. And this is only where they're going to optimize their production capacities. Secondly, was access to accurate knowledge and information. Yes, Makerere and NARO, we were engaged in this. The second pillar was access to accurate knowledge and information. And I said it wasn't that information and knowledge wasn't there, but it was also like a flying bird. You get it? Extension worker or a group of Makerere experts go out in the community. They do field school for a week or so, and then they are gone. There was no sustainability in the training mechanism. So we realized that there is need to bridge this gap so that the knowledge of the first quality from our universities can constantly flow into the farming communities to ensure that a lot of inaccuracies they had can be corrected. We found actually a lot of contra information in the farmers about how to look after the banana, whereas actually all this training was available in Makerere. Thirdly, access to improved community-based infrastructure. And this speaks in the first one. So one of our objectives was really to see that what we have developed at our center should be repackaged in such a way that communities will be able to access it and be able to do the things we're telling them they can do, and so that we can build this golden value chain we're all talking about. And finally, when we went to the farmers, we assumed the NARO, NADS, were working with cooperatives. So we didn't even put in that function because we thought that there were already farmers that are empowered. It was our shock to find that farmers were working as individuals. We asked them about cooperative states. They died. They died within 7. He said, why? He said, well, we don't know. So that's where we started. And we didn't even have this skill set. We had to look for people who had got this skill set to come in and support us to reinvent the associations in the farming communities. Because you can't keep on speaking to one farmer. You don't get there. They need to be in a class. They need to compare. They need to learn from one another. And if they're going to be empowered, they have to have a voice, because we're building a value chain that is going to make them have eyes to see where we're selling the banana flour, to be able to question how much we are getting. And an individual farmer can never do that, you know? So basically, associations were formed, and eventually these farmers themselves said, we want them to be cooperatives. After that, we had, as part of our problem resolve, we had to analyze the value gap between what the farmers were doing then and what it would be if we added value and went to market, you know, with the flour. So from this background, BIRDC is projected to create a total value gap, TVG, of up to USD 41,831 per hectare per year, where USD dollars 35,760 per hectare per year will be realized at farm gate for every farmer that will add primary value before sale. You hear me? This will be realized from the elevation of the productivity from 5 to 35 metric tons per hectare, while the price indices for the green banana at farm gate will increase slightly from USD 0.407 per kilogram to USD 0.18, which is 18 cents per kilogram. So you can see we're not increasing the acreage, but we're increasing the productivity density. That was our target in order to bring this value gap to bear. So after processing this into chips, the farmers will be able to realize the sale value of USD $6 per kilogram, accounting for the value gap. So we are talking about farmers who are getting 400,000, the first column, Uganda shillings per year, because of the transformation getting close to 20 million shillings per hectare per year. And when we help them to add value, that would start to 127 million, because we are selling each kilo of flour between $9 and $13. And every bunch gives me between 4 to 4.5 kilograms. So that is how we get that. So ultimately, when we do the differences, you see that a farmer in our model is positioned to get 35.88. That, just looking at our figures, has developed a model for between us and them to completely cause a disruptor in the banana value chain. They are committed to do all the investments at zero interest rate to government to cause this to happen. Modeling farmers who have been getting 0 to 5 tons per hectare per year, now getting 35 to 50 tons per hectare per year. That is the strategy. And that is why some of you ask government, loads of money here, they want to see it happen. You get it? I was telling the Vice Chancellor that you have to do your problem statement in such a way that any financier would not pass by it. That's how I got into the eyes of the Rockefeller Foundation to the very high, because of the problem statements I used to put forward. And that's how I came before the greater policymakers in this country. Even opposition, they may say something different, but when they come down there, they agree that there's something to finance. So basically, just to elaborate, is that is the catch that has really caused us to get everybody to stand up and look up. Just to talk about some of our key stakeholders, we have a big stakeholder in Germany. Now, on the market side, we have started also to start linkages with UK on the industrial tuning. The Germans are good at the bigger industries. On the product development, the UK have got a cutting edge. So we are balancing that act. Actually, it's the Germans that recommended us back to the UK, whereas my studies had been in the UK. Then for the marketing, we have got really an open window into the US. Our product got 2 groups to open warehouses for Uganda commodities, because they are really competing to take our flour. Not only our flour, Even the crisps, I don't know whether you taste the crisps. We're going to package those crisps for the American market because they are the only crisps that will be on the market that are not manufactured, that are original. And in that crisp, also you have starch that we call SDS, slow digesting starch. Those who are in the medicine side, I think you understand. That's where the market heart is. And that's why I got a lot of problem. Those who understand the value have patents on these starches. And until government took over, I could not do that patenting. So the SDS is the word for the industry of food that is handling carbohydrate. Because when you eat the product from our starches, you feel satisfied. You eat one cookie, you won't have another one, you know? And that's what the American market want. They want to enjoy the food without what? The consequences. And when you have an SD, it digests slowly. You become like a python, you know? So most of your starch actually digests in the large intestine, ferments, actually don't digest, ferment, and then they protect your intestine against cancer. I think I've said it. Our starch, I believe, is going to sell on the retail between $28 to $56 on the USA market. Somebody was asking me why is the flour not everywhere? Because we have hold on until we've signed these contracts and set the prices and package for the different markets appropriately. As for the confectionery, the other question we always have, we don't see them. People are buying them and selling them under the basket. You know, Ugandans are very good at that. We don't have anything left out in the market when we go out. We are setting up a mega bakery very soon in Inshallah. We've got an industrial park on Masaka and Barara Road where we're going to put up a mega bakery to be able to match the needs of the market that we have exposed. And I have to tell you that our bakery products are going as far as Congo, Sudan, you know, and Kenya without us asking for them to go. So we have to do the right thing to ensure they go. We have a potentially big market in the region because uji is a very great thing in the East African market, and our uji is very good, as you've seen. But how are we taking this to the market? We are taking this to the market not as domestic people. We realize the value of what we have. So what we are doing franchises. We are doing franchises at different levels. We have a 7-level franchise model that we've developed. And this I should acknowledge Makerere University Business School. We've worked with them tirelessly to develop the franchise model that we are taking to the world. And this is how your product, your banana flour, is going to be marketed. So when we say $13, it is an understatement. We believe that the value is going to gravitate as we go up. I think really the thing that I want to share with you is what is the journey we went through. We went through a journey of being researchers at the university. Then we were captive and put into government. And I want to tell you as researchers, as university people, you have to be very flexible because the financial really holds the day. That's why it's very unfortunate if all the biggest financials are external because we shall do their bidding, and this is not really what we want to do. So if government gets the money, which it is promising us is going to do from next financial year for science, we have to make sure that we are able to package whatever we want to do within that framework that they have established as policy. As I said, I owe this to Dr. Frank Mabirizi, because when he came in as my chair, he said, however good science you are doing, I want to tell you If we do not see it in policy, we never get a coin. So learning from that, we started learning what policy is. I stand here proudly as a graduate of a SAMI. On top of my what? My PhD, I realized that in finance, I'm useless if I don't understand the money. I want to say that the entrepreneurial part of this curriculum may be the most important thing. Why? Because those of us in industry there are looking for this kind of skill set. I thought I would be able to at least show the volume of skills that have come out. So basically, the end of the story is that we are going to form the Tokyo Trade Center, and this would enable us as a country to harness the muscle of being able to broker this product internationally, not just giving first and third party traders to make the maximum profit. I think we are ahead of coffee in our design, and we may have informed the coffee policy, because from the word go, we said we're not going to send just flowers. We're going to send largely premixes to the world, and that's what we are working on. Yes, this can happen to a project like PBID, but a university can be a great player into this. I want to say we're building with you at Inshara. We believe that some of these great people who are going to go through your hands and your curriculum, even as their students, are going to be beneficiaries of the working in synergy with industrial development at Inshara. The benefits generated, one is a country. We are creating direct and indirect employment opportunities. As I said, at Ushene alone, direct employment is over 500, indirect is over 5,000 plus, and we are still counting. Promoting development of SMEs and trade industries, development of value addition in agriculture sector. Many people are benchmarking us. We are going to support the cassava value chain because we need the cassava in some of the products. We're going to support the Irish potato value chains because what we use, they can also use. Supporting the parish model development, we are doing this through what we are doing with the farmers in terms of enhanced productivity as well as primary value addition, technology transfer. Food security, this is now one of our targets. As our profits come through, we want to make a Greater Busheni a zero malnutrition place, because we've got the flowers, they have the milk. We know that children can live and thrive very well. Import substitution, yes, our target is that 5 to 8 years from now, over 50% of the wheat we import will not be necessary in this country because we're going to substitute it. Foreign exchange and FDI, I've also told you, we have a lot of overtures of people wanting to bring investment here, starting at the grassroots levels with that big investor who is coming in to invest in the banana production sector. Farmers, improvement of farming practices, of course. Our farmers have moved from where we found them. Many of them are now between 15 to 20 metric tons per hectare. Incomes, I want just to use the example of our village. Bumbere is our village in Busheni, and Bumbere is one district where everybody has got electricity, has got water, everybody has got a TV, everybody has got a permanent house, and I think everybody goes to school. I don't see any rascals on the street, okay? And 60%, 65% of everybody has got a motorized movement in that village. And this is really 20 years only down the line. Everybody has got fluid income because they either work directly or indirectly in what we are doing. So that's what can happen. Environment, production of green energy, this is our last bit, and waste to value spin-offs, we're also exemplifying it. This, we shall go from doing baskets and other tourist goods to doing industrial bases, as I've already highlighted. Projected is not less than $1 billion US dollars in revenues 5 years from now, $56 million in annual taxes, and $60 million in annual profits. To note is the banana was not a taxable sector, so that is profound. Now, stakeholder skill sets. Who made this? Economists, financial analysts, market professionals, sales professionals, business administrators, ICT experts, legal advisors, human resource professionals, supply chain and logistic managers, statistician, communication experts, agriculture extension. This is now the first technical from agriculture. Agriculture agronomist, supply chain, procurement logistics, quality control inspectors for raw materials. Then for research and development, biochemists, food scientists, bakers and confectioners, quality assurance, product development, laboratory technicians, climate change specialists, stroke environmentalists, water sanitation and irrigation specialists, data scientists, research agronomists, engineers, civil, mechanic, electrical, processing engineers, soil scientists. It can never be, it's not agriculture, it's really everybody is there, community associations, social scientists, food scientists, quality assurance, and others. You get it? The Hagai Institute trained me in leadership at a time that I needed it. And their motto is, try something so big for God that it will not work unless God is in it. We've done this. We have been shocked that it's we who limit God. I challenge you, take that motto, raise the cup of what you want to do. Make the departments bigger. Make the faculty schools, and you see what God can do.
Thank you. That's a very good last statement.